Hey everybody, what is up? This is Devin, LaVore, and
Michelle LaVore
coming at you. And yes, we did it. Now you know we don't come out with like month words. In the month of June, it's going to be this. In the month of July, it's going to be. No, I don't remember the last time we did one actually. I know we did one in January.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't remember. But on the very night that Michelle got her major breakthrough, and we had to do a video about that the next day.
Well, it was that morning.
2 days later?
It was Saturday night.
Well, that night. Well, remember that one night? There was this one night. Okay, we're going to get to it. You know us. Just sit down, grab your popcorn and your Coca-Cola, and just come along the ride.
Yeah.
But I don't know, when was that though. That was like over the weekend. It was on Saturday night, wasn't it?
Yes,
it was on Saturday night. I felt like God was like, we need to just shut everything down. And I really just want to come into the presence of God and just, And I kept remembering that late in the midnight hour thing. And I was just like, okay, because you never know when your midnight hour is going to happen. So, he just decided to chime on in right away.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? You just went down. What's going on? He moves a lot, though.
Yeah.
He just has to. But anyway, like I was saying... before I was so pleasantly interrupted. I love these moments. Anyway, what was it? It was Saturday night, and I was just like, okay, I just really want to just come and pray. It just really felt like an invitation from the Spirit to come and do it. And so we were just sitting there, just me and Michelle, not all, but just me and Michelle.
Yeah.
And I just, the Lord began to speak to us again about resurrection, and he is appearing, and he is appearing to end your distress, and in ending your distress and him appearing and all that, you're going to see the heart of the Father.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And then that's when your breakthrough came, and God was just like, I'm going to teach you how to be, I'm going to be your Father. And I felt like the Lord was like saying, I'm going to start everything new for you. Yeah. I'm going to hit the reset button in your life, and it's just, the past will be gone, and the new is going to come.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of times when you get attacked, it's the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's like nothing's going to change. It's hopeless. Believe in that.
It's always going to be the same.
Invest your faith in that. Hopelessness. Yeah. The enemy's trying to get your faith too. So, but in the midst of that, I felt like the Lord began speaking to me about August. And I was just like, whoa, totally unexpected.
Yeah.
It's just like, I wasn't expecting that. But I felt like the Lord was saying that the month of August was going to be a month of establishment and preparation. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. What are you talking about? And the Lord began to show me, like, because during that week, when we were talking about that was last week, we were talking about the Father's heart of God, and God was going to reveal his Father's heart. Well, for me, it happened totally different.
Yeah.
For me, I felt like the Lord showed me this wall, and this wall had all these little holes in it, and I felt like the Lord was saying, like, I am going to come in and I'm just going to spackle in all these holes. Well, what those holes represented were things in my relationship with God that were not complete, that were not filled in. Like, I know God's my Father. Just get to the point right there. I know God's my Father, but man, I don't understand what that actually means.
Yeah.
I didn't have a dad growing up, and my mom was just, wow, that's a whole nother issue. And so it's like, even just parents in general, I don't have a healthy picture of what a parent is, apart from anger and other things. And it's just like, and I've known the Lord for 24 years, but it's just like, but it's just funny because at the same time, right around the same time, we both just start calling God Dad.
Yeah.
It just start coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? I love it. What is it?
It's like new.
Like manna. What is it? And a little Crude's reference there. I caught that. Don't eat it. It's new. Anyway, don't you kids start laughing. We're doing a video. Anyway. So I felt like the Lord was saying, I am going to fill in those holes. Because I felt like, but this is what I felt like the Lord was saying for all of us as a body of Christ. Like, there are parts of our heart with God where we know God's merciful, but we just don't get it. We don't have this revelation of just like, oh, I know God's compassionate. I know God's a giver. I know God's generous. But man, there's something in my heart that's just like, something's missing. And I just felt like God's like, yes, absolutely. And I'm going to come in this month of August. Hello. Now, I got this on last Saturday. What day was that?
I think it's the
27th or 8th or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just not able to release it now. But I felt like the Lord was like, there's a lot of people out there with Swiss cheese hearts, and he's going to come in and spackle those holes in with revelation. And we are going to have the aha moment, And why is all of this preparation? Because I felt like the Lord was like, this is going to be preparation for what's to come. Because he has more coming throughout the rest of the year. And I'm just like, wow, this is going to be amazing. I was getting excited, right? And so, but I felt like the Lord was like, I'm going to establish you. You're going to be established and you're going to be confident in it. And yes, and I felt like the Lord said, you're going to have that aha moment where you just get it, where you go, oh, I see now. Me and Michelle were just having a conversation today. And I was like, there's certain things, really it's everything, but we won't go into that in detail. But there's things that either you see it or you don't see it. And there's no amount of education or explaining it, even explaining it scripturally or anything like that, where you, I see it now. You can't make that happen. It's like either the Holy Spirit opened your eyes to it, or you just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like the Lord was like, there's going to be a lot of open eyes this month. There's going to be a lot of like, oh, I get it. But I felt like the Lord said, it is going to be because there's going to be a resurrection. It is going to be because he is going to appear. It is going to be because there will be a demonstration. And then, oh, I get it now. It is because of the demonstration of God that is going to take place, then you will get it. See, that's the kind of learner I am, actually. I am a demonstration learner where you can... Here's a book that tells you how to do it. It's not going to happen, bruh. It's not going to happen. Well, let me tell you about it. Okay, I might get a little bit more of it if you told me about it. That's why I listen to audiobooks. Because it's like, if I have to read it, it's not fast enough for my brain to process. But if you can show me, like every time I get on a job, I'm like, well, just show me what you're talking about. Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
If you tell me, well, so you have to do this, and you have to do that, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, I'm not going to get it. And to go along with that, one of the things that the Lord showed me, or one of the things he said to me, is he said, your I have heard is going to turn into a now I see. Man, that was super clear. That wasn't one of those, was that really you, Lord? No. The Lord was like, your I have heard is going to turn into a now I see. Why is that important? Because we have heard a lot. I'm just going to put me and you in the pot right here, okay? Me and Michelle, have heard a lot about what God is going to do. Through 80% of it, through our relationship with God.
Yeah.
20% of it being those awesome confirmations that come from prophetic other people. Other prophetic people. But it doesn't matter how it comes.
Yeah.
And it just confirms. It's like, wow, that's amazing. But it's all stuff we have heard.
Yeah.
Have we seen? No. We've seen some stuff.
Yeah, we've seen
like
some.
Like the Christmas in July thing that we covered in our Truth About Hearing from God videos. That was awesome. I love that. How there was like two sides to really the same story. I love that there were two videos to that. Because it showed the process and then it showed the resolution.
Yeah.
I love that. But it's like what we have heard. Like the big thing, the big thing. Have we seen that? Nope. And so naturally, am I thinking, August is going to be the month where we see it? Yes, I am. I'm just putting it out there that's what I'm thinking. But if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, but the bottom line is there's a difference between what God is saying and then what you think God is saying. And I'm just telling you what I heard God say to me. that August was going to be a month of establishment and preparation, and he's going to demonstrate those words that we have heard about resurrection. He is appearing, end of distress, and all that. I felt like he said that's going to happen in the month of August. And I was like, okay, well, you were right about Christmas in July, so come on, Cletus. Come on, Jesus. I'm just like, this is awesome. And he reminded me of Job 42:5, where Job says, whoa, my ears had heard of you, but now I see. Mm-hmm. See, because he was devout. He was walking by faith, and God saw his faith. But it seemed to me, based on that statement and the whole book and the whole conversation, that he really, I guess there was a period, the kind of life he was living, it seemed like maybe he wasn't as close to God as he wanted to be. He wasn't hearing from God in the way he wanted to hear from him. It wasn't that intimacy that he wanted. And he had heard a lot of things because he was very faithful to God and hearing from him and walking with him. But it was just like he'd heard a lot of things about God that now he was experiencing. Mm-hmm. Now he saw it. And it was just like, whoa, this is amazing.
And it was really cool this morning because we listened to a prophetic word from
May 31st.
Yeah, but who gave it? I don't remember.
I don't remember. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it up there.
Yeah. And but it's really cool because we really felt like it really confirmed a lot of things God has already spoken to us. But one of the things that really stuck out to me is that she was talking about how, the storehouses were full and overflowing, and so God was like ready to empty those out, ready for us to receive the harvest, because it was August. The storehouses in heaven were full.
Yeah.
The sowing that had gone, the placing all of our prayers and all of the tears and the continued faith and belief,
the heartache and everything,
and all of that, it was like it was overflowing. So God is ready to pour it out for us here, and that we'll see the fulfillment of promises. And
because she called it August was going to be your wealth month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if that's not what we're waiting for,
it's going to begin. It's like it's the mark of another new season, another new time frame. Seasons when God he's unlocking doors, and and she was talking about like it's just beginning really in August, and it will continue. And
throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And I was like, why on this day when I'm going to release this word, when we are going to release this August word, we see that thing about August that was done in May 31st.
Yeah.
Never seen it before. I'm scrolling through comments and I'm recognizing a lot of subscribers and other people who don't necessarily subscribe to our channel, but I recognize them. They commented on it a month ago.
Yeah.
And, so I'm like, how is it that we are just now seeing this just now today?
Yeah.
I think it's the orchestration of God.
Yeah. And but in that, she said, God is pouring that out because he's ready to begin the next thing, like in the sense of there is more to come. And
we knew that already.
I really felt like in a lot of ways, even that's kind of where God's transitioned us. And really honestly, starting, I think, Saturday night, but into Sunday and this whole week really, and that's been, we're still, praying and believing for the promises, but I believe God was just like, hey, I now want to focus a lot and sow. He specifically said, he's like, I am ready to sow into your family.
Yeah.
And for us, that really means that our prayer times and our God times, we really want to focus in on praying for one another and just like really just I feel like it's God's heart, because that's what I asked him. I was like, well, Lord, what's on your heart? And he was just like, your family. And this whole journey so far, it's been our family, but it's really been about the promises. It's been about sowing into what God has said and believing for the specific things that God has promised us.
There's been a lot of spiritual cultivation in the field that God's given us. And basically he's saying, come back into the house, guys.
Yes.
Come back into the house. We're just going to kick your muddy shoes off.
Yep. And
now, let me wash your feet.
Yeah, exactly.
You want some hot cocoa? Here you go.
Yes.
That's the month of August.
Yes. And just that. But I really believe that we've entered into a season and a time where we really are going to be sowing into just really our family.
Each other.
And each other.
And we've seen the manifestation of it already. What is today? Wednesday. We have seen it every single day since you gave that word. Yeah. In fact, there was an attack on that word just today.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Lord, what is going on? Because there was some stuff, some familiar stuff popping up. And I'm like, okay, I know the familiar stuff, and the attack is actually designed as a distraction against something. Yeah. I'm like, Lord, what's really going on? And eventually it came to me several hours later, honestly. It was like 3 hours later.
3 hour tour.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew it. I knowed it. I knowed it. I knowed it. Anyway, but like came to me, it was like, Michelle prophesied a word. The enemy is trying to attack that word by bringing all kind of disruption to our family that we haven't experienced since the moment you prophesied that word. There's been manifestation and climb and momentum. Is just like, it's been awesome. Breakthrough. And here comes the enemy this morning. Attack.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the problem is I react to it. And that's part of my problem in the attack. Is just like, no, don't do that.
To your reaction.
And it's a chain reaction of garbage. And it's like, all right, let's just stop.
Yeah. Yep.
Just like that.
Yep.
Just like that. We didn't even plan that. That was totally fun. Anyway.
And so I'm just like really excited because I felt like God was just really like, hey, the promises and all of that is so sure. And, it's like we're still believing for it, but for him, he's like, all right, what's on my heart right now? My heart is for your family. And let's start sowing into that. And it reminds me of the scripture where it was, I think it's the Amos 9:13, where like the
9:13 through 14.
It's like
the
sowers starting to
overtake the reaper. And reapers and overtaking the sower or something like that. It's
like God's like, I'm getting ready to reap, but you're gonna get to reap. But at the same time, I'm already beginning to sow. Yeah. And I really
I like the way you said that. I'm getting ready to sow. She put some toot in it, didn't she?
and I just really believe right now, like God is saying, it is time to sow into our family and sow into one another.
And listen, he's not just talking spiritually.
No.
I'm telling you, that's why that video came to us. It actually came to me last night, and then we both watched it.
This morning.
I watched it again. I was like, oh my gosh, do we have some stuff to talk about? Because there's so much stuff what we are not telling you that's just like, oh my gosh, like the honor the father thing.
Yeah. And
Joseph being honored, and the fact that our video yesterday was 41 minutes and 41 seconds. And we can make a whole video on stuff like that. About how God said, I'm going to honor your family. I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, I don't even know what that means, but thank you. Bring it.
Yeah.
Because if it's going to bless me, it's going to bless everybody. But anyway, God's got individual blessings for each of us. And he reminded me of that today.
Yeah. And
it's
so
just
it's like
really cool stuff happening.
Yeah, and it's like his heart really is for our family, because it's like it really is that picture of, hey guys, you're either coming in from the harvest or sowing or working. Really, it's more of a working the field, or you can think of it as you've been out in the battlefield, but it's like that time is done. Come on in. And
sit at the table.
And I really believe that it's like this time, it's a very very close and intimate time that I feel like the Lord is leading us into. Yeah. It's a time where he's like, hey, you know what? Let's just rest. Let me help you just kind of heal, because he understands that, even if you're working out in the field, you could be getting blisters on your hand, you're dirty, or and he's like, all right, come on in, just relax. Your muscles might be sore. Yeah. And let's come in, let me put oil on your skin. Let me put, bandages on your hands. Let me wash your feet, like you said, and let me just come in and relax I don't,
I like that bandages on your hands thing, because as you're working for the Lord in His field, you know you're going to get cut up. Mm-hmm. You know you're the thing that you're doing. There's going to be some things that cut you, mm-hmm. that hurt you. That just like He just knows that you're not going to go out and work the timber and not get splinters.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's just like He's just ready to minister to us now.
Yeah. And it's like, just, hey, have some lemonade. Like, here, let's start feasting together.
I'll take the cocoa.
Or the hot cocoa.
Lemonade by day, cocoa by night. Double portion, baby.
But just how, because He wants to tend to the family. And so I just think it was really awesome. I felt like even hearing that word today just reconfirmed for me what God was already speaking. He's like, hey.
The wealth month?
Yeah, the wealth month. Yeah. And just really what she was saying about how it's like the storehouses are full. God is dumping those out, but at the same time, He's ready to sow into more, mm-hmm. ready to sow into what else He's doing, mm-hmm. because God is always moving. He is always doing, and so it's just really exciting. I'm really just excited for what God has for us as a family coming forth and what He's going to be doing, mm-hmm. And so it's like, all right, Lord, I love this. I love that you're just transitioning us even to, okay, like now we're going to just kind of shift things a little. It doesn't mean that we're not praying for promises or anything like that. No. But it's like, that's not the focus. That's not the main thing. It's like God's like, that's taken care of. That's a done deal. It's already a done deal. Yeah. So now let's get you ready for the done deal. You know what I mean? Exactly. And so
there's been some really surprising things that have come up that are just like, oh wow, that's a part of the process. That's a part of what you're saying and doing. Kind of like refining things, mm-hmm. refining vision, and bringing us back to what we are actually called to do, so that we're not taken away from that to do something else we're not called to do. And mm-hmm. Just really cool stuff, man. God really, see, that's when you have those aha moments. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical gift given to you, where you just realize, like, man, God, you really do care about us.
He does.
You really are thinking about us in ways that we don't even have, our brains don't even have the capacity to remember.
Yeah.
And it's just, but you do, and you're taking care of us. That's why we have to trust.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it was a good reminder even this morning, because there was so much attack. And, I think for me especially, just I get emotional and it's like things start to feel hopeless. And that was actually something that I just realized the other day. We were actually talking, my little mini-me, my son, and just like Devin was like, you know what, he just needs to know that there's hope. And I was like, whoa, I think that's always the thing that I need. I just never realized it, True. And it's like,
you guys are so alike. It's unbelievable. So it's like copy paste. Like, wow, how are you guys so like? But then me and Annalise are the same way. Yeah, and she's like my little mini-me.
Again, it was just like, no, there is hope. The enemy wants you to think that there is no hope and that nothing has changed. And it's like, yeah, God spoke that, but mm-hmm. and that really is where, again, the reminder of don't let things come out of our mouths that are contrary to what God has said. Yeah. And it's like, all right, that's really where the faith steps in too. It's like, well, Lord, you've said this, and so we're gonna believe. You've said that you're gonna do this thing in our family. That this is the time where you really are just sowing into our family. And so that's going to be through prayers. And we're going to really see you move and reveal yourself to our kids and to us. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, when it's like you're thinking, I'm not seeing it yet. It's like, it doesn't matter if you're not seeing it yet. It's like what God has said is true. And
what you heard, you're going to see. Yeah. It's going to go from I have heard to now I see.
Yeah. And it was actually really cool. We were reading Joel led God Time, and we just did the Bible verse of the day on Bible Gateway, and it was Psalm 119, 114. And it was basically like the end part of it really stuck. It's literally like a sentence.
That's all it is.
But it's like the Lord is my hiding place, and
my shield.
My shield.
My hope is
My
in your
hope
word.
is in your word. And my hope is in your word, or I hope in your word.
Yeah.
And it was like, yes, like I hope in your word. And we looked up what word meant, and it's really specific to
It's
speech.
one of the most common words used
Yeah.
for in the Hebrew for word. You know?
Yeah, but like having to do with your speech, your words, like the words of your mouth. And it's like, yes, Lord, that's exactly what we live by. We live by your word, which for us is by the Spirit of God. And it comes through, also reading his word. But I really felt like for me, God was just highlighting, it's by my word, the words that I'm speaking. So if I'm speaking life into you, then believe and hope for life. It's like, that's where your hope is. Your hope is, no, I know what God has said. He said we're going to have life. We're going to have great things in our family. We're going to have...
And it's happening now.
Yeah.
It's not something that's going to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
it is going to happen. There's a lot of our life that's going to happen, but he's trying to say this is going to happen and that it is happening. So we had to switch because the boy is getting heavy, okay? So I think that's pretty much, we got the gist of it out there. I mean, I know this is not like maybe a traditional prophetic word from the prophet guy or whatever, because that's just not me anyway.
Yeah.
I get on and I share and I say, this is what God told me about August. You do with it what you want.
Yeah.
But I just to recap, felt like the Lord was saying that August was going to be a month of establishment and preparation. And it was really confirmed to me by that video that we watched last night and today about it being a wealth month, because she said in that video that some of you, she's like, I see somebody out there is about to get rich, and she's like, I'm not meaning rich in the spirit, okay? I'm talking about, she said someone's about to get a shabam wham from the Lord. We lost it, both of us, and I was like, babe, she's talking about us, because that is what we are waiting for, man. We are waiting for a release of some money that's just going to help us out, that's going to put us in a place that will establish us, without which we're not going to be established. We're going to be wandering around the wilderness until that happens. And I just believe that this is going to be the month where that happens. And the cool thing is, I know maybe some of you don't like it when I do this, but I have to do what I feel like the Lord's saying. I was editing my video the other day, and I just happened to look up at the timer on the editing bar, and it said 8:01. And it moved on to 2, 3, 4, because it's a timer. Yeah. But that 8:01 just jumped out at me right at that moment. And I just knew right then. See, sometimes you got to pray about it. Sometimes you know right then. I knew right then it meant August 1st. And I was like, okay. I was like, what's special about August 1st? I'm not even going to bother with the mental gymnastics. I'm just jump in. Mm-hmm. What's special about August 1st? Because I knew that's what... And it's like, it's funny because this is when we're actually releasing the video, is on August 1st. And then all this cool stuff has been happening on today that has been prophesying what's coming.
Yeah.
And I just felt like the Lord was like, August 1st, this is when things are going to begin. This is when it's going to happen. This is when things are going to start to take place. And so we hope you guys were blessed by this.
Yeah.
There's other things that we really, really want to share, but we're just like, okay, Lord, out of all this stuff, what should we share? Because there's so much that we could use.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, what did I finish the recap? Did I recap it well?
I think so. And just that God is getting ready to pour out what we've sown, and that we are going to see the harvest. And, but
like some real deal harvest, not no spiritual revelation.
Yeah.
That too. I'm not saying not that, but and not just that.
Yeah. And just that he's ready to sow in more into what he's doing. And I think that's about it. Oh yeah,
and another thing is your I have heard is going to turn into a now I see. Man, that is like a big, I think that's like the sugar in the cake right there. as far as that prophetic word that he was talking to me about, well, how are you going to, because, I'm like, well, what do you mean established? How are we going to be established? And he's like, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, yes, I want to say I know what you're talking about, but also I am totally terrified to touch that.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch that. I'm serious, I don't. I was like, I don't want to mess with that. No, I don't want to, because now we're talking about time frames again. Hello. It's like, I don't want to touch that. Ooh, it's going to happen in August. No, not going to do it. But you know what? Eventually you got to get over yourself. You have to make a decision. Is this the Lord speaking to you? Well, yes, it is. Okay, well, if it's the Lord, it should be pretty exciting. You should just go ahead and jump on in because it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And eventually I get myself to that place pretty quickly. You take a little longer.
Yeah.
I'm like a McLaren P1. You're more like a VW Beetle.
Yeah.
Convertible version, but still a Beetle. Anyway. Anyway, so we hope you guys are blessed by that. And we hope that some of the stuff that we said resonated with you. And that this is going to be your month of preparation and establishment. You are going to be establishing the things like confidence, and some of those holes are going to be spackled in. You're going to have that aha moment with the Lord where it's just going to catapult your relationship with God to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be some tangible things. There's going to be some relationships restored. There's going to be some jobs had. There's going to be all that kind of stuff is really going to take place as well. So that's what I got. That's what we got.
Yeah. And so until next time, guys.
We'll see you later.
We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.